You're about to learn how scientists are trying to resurrect the woolly mammoth using gene editing, why they believe it could help stop climate change, and why this entire plan sits on a moral landmine. By the end of this, you'll understand the actual science, the real timeline, and the uncomfortable truth. Bringing something back from extinction is easier than deciding whether we should. And yes, this is happening right now. Not in a lab from a movie, in real buildings with real investors and a deadline. Let's start at the beginning. The woolly mammoth went extinct around 4,000 years ago. That means while humans were building pyramids in Egypt, a small population of mammoths was still wandering around an island in the Arctic Ocean. They were huge, covered in thick fur, equipped with curved tusks the size of kayaks, and built for brutal cold. They thrived in a frozen grassland ecosystem called the mammoth steppe, a vast, dry, icy biome stretching across northern Eurasia and North America during the Ice Age. Then, humans showed up. Archaeological evidence shows humans hunted mammoths for meat, hides, bones, and tools. At the same time, the climate was warming. The giant grasslands shrank. Forests replaced open plains. The mammoths lost habitat and gained highly motivated predators with spears. That combination ended them. For thousands of years, that was the end of the story. Then, genetics arrived. In the late 20th century, scientists began extracting ancient DNA from frozen mammoth remains preserved in permafrost. Permafrost is permanently frozen ground. Think of it as a natural deep freezer that forgot to turn off. The cold slowed down decay enough to preserve fragments of mammoth DNA. Important word, fragments. DNA degrades over time. You cannot pull a perfect mammoth genome out of ice like a USB drive. What scientists can do is sequence overlapping fragments and reconstruct most of the genome digitally. By the 2010s, researchers had assembled high-quality mammoth genome maps by comparing those fragments to the genome of its closest living relative, the Asian elephant. That comparison changed everything. In 2021, a biotechnology company called Colossal Biosciences announced a plan. Their goal, create a functional mammoth by editing elephant DNA. Not cloning, there is no intact mammoth cell to clone. Instead, they use CRISPR gene editing. CRISPR is a tool that allows scientists to cut and modify DNA at precise locations. Here's the strategy. Step 1. Identify the genes that made mammoths cold adapted. Thick hair, fat layers, small ears to reduce heat loss, hemoglobin that functions in freezing temperatures. Step 2. Edit those mammoth traits into Asian elephant cells. Step 3. Use those edited cells to create embryos and implant them into elephant surrogates, or potentially develop artificial womb technology. The target date for the first calves? 2028. So no, this is not a thought experiment. Investors have poured millions into this project. Genetic edits have already been performed in laboratory cells. The machinery exists. Now comes the part that makes this more than a science stunt. The mammoth steppe theory. Some climate scientists argue that large grazing animals like mammoths once helped maintain Arctic grasslands. When mammoths trampled snow, they compressed it. Compressed snow allows cold air to penetrate deeper into the soil during winter. That keeps permafrost colder. Frozen permafrost traps massive amounts of carbon. When it thaws, it releases carbon dioxide and methane, accelerating climate change. The theory suggests that reintroducing mammoth-like animals could help preserve permafrost by restoring that ancient ecosystem dynamic. There is already a small-scale experiment in Siberia called Pleistocene Park. Scientists there are introducing bison, horses, and musk oxen to test whether large herbivores can restore grasslands and cool the soil. So the pitch is bold. Resurrect mammoth-like elephants, release them into Arctic regions, let them stomp the snow, and slow climate change. That sounds heroic. Now let's slow down. Asian elephants are endangered. Fewer than 50,000 remain in the wild. Creating hybrid embryos requires egg harvesting, genetic manipulation, and potentially multiple failed pregnancies. Elephant gestation lasts about 22 months. That is nearly 2 years per attempt. The ethical cost lands squarely on a living endangered species. Then there's the ecosystem question. The Arctic today is not the Ice Age Arctic. Forests have expanded, climate patterns have shifted. Indigenous communities live across these regions. Infrastructure exists. Reintroducing genetically engineered megafauna into a modern ecosystem is not like placing a chess piece back on a frozen board. It is introducing a 6-ton variable into a fragile, warming environment. Supporters argue we already reshape ecosystems constantly through farming, urbanization, and conservation programs. Critics argue we're proposing to fix human-caused climate damage by manufacturing Ice Age elephants. Both sides have data. Both sides have blind spots. Here's a grounded possibility. The first mammoth-like calves are born. They survive. They are healthy. Now what? A single animal does not restore an ecosystem. You need a population. That requires decades of breeding, habitat management, funding, and political stability in Arctic regions that are already geopolitically tense. Now imagine the opposite possibility. The animals struggle. The edits introduce unforeseen health complications. Cold-adapted genes do not integrate perfectly with elephant physiology. You have created a creature that fits neither modern Asia nor ancient Siberia. This is not fantasy risk. Gene editing at this scale has never been tested in a long-lived megafauna species. There is also a quieter moral question. Extinction has always been final. It has weight. It forces caution. If extinction becomes reversible, even partially, the psychological barrier changes. We can fix it later becomes a tempting sentence. That is the Jurassic Park factor. Not dinosaurs, the mindset. The technology is real. The science is advancing. CRISPR works. Ancient DNA sequencing works. Investment is flowing. A 2028 calf is plausible. The question is not whether we can insert mammoth genes into elephants. The question is whether engineering Ice Age hybrids to patch modern climate mistakes is wisdom or spectacle. In the end, this story is not about mammoths. It's about power. Humans hunted them out of existence with stone tools. Now humans are trying to bring them back with molecular scissors. Same species, very different equipment. The Ice Age ended once because the planet warmed and humans expanded. If mammoths walk again, it will not be because nature corrected itself. It will be because we decided extinction was optional. That decision is far heavier than a 6-ton animal covered in fur.